Today under agriculture, we are starting with the another input, fertilizer. So initially we should be knowing certain data. That is, India consumes 55 million metric ton of fertilizers annually. So it's 55 million metric ton, of which nearly 30% are imported. We have 30% imported fertilizers. So 55 million metric tons is what we are using. India is third largest producer of fertilizers and second largest fertilizer consuming country after China. So according to 2022 data, India is third largest producer and second largest consumer. That's why we want to import 30% of fertilizer. So first position, which country, where the country utilizes more fertilizer is China. Second one is India. And the third largest producer is India. So these are some data. If you can memorize this data alone, you can be using under any of the mains answer. So no need to have much data. But having one or two different facts and using it repeatedly whenever it is possible will fetch you the high marks. So urea is the most produced, the most consumed and the most imported fertilizer in India. So that's why we have subsidy on urea also, and then we have later neem coated urea. So urea is the most produced, most consumed and most imported fertilizer in India. Okay. The Indian fertilizer market is projected to register a CAGR of 11.9% during the forecast period 2020 to 2027. Okay. So now we can remember this much of data, that 30% of fertilizer is imported. India is third largest producer, second largest consumer, and we have most imported fertilizer as urea. If you know this much data, you can use. Okay. Then we see Lok Sabha Standing Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizers report. So there is a standing committee on chemicals and fertilizers. So according to it, the report produced says nano fertilizers for sustainable crop production and maintaining soil health. So the standing committee on chemicals and fertilizers report, that is nano fertilizer for sustainable crop production and maintaining soil health, says fertilizer consumption in India is imbalanced and urea accounts for more than 82% of nitrogenous fertilizers applied to the majority of the crops. As we already read, urea is the most consumed. As a result, the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium NPK consumption ratio has widened from 4:3, 2:1 in 2009 to 10 to 7:2, 0.8:1. Okay, to this it has been increased NPK consumption. Then this imbalance leading to the deterioration in soil quality and health hazard necessitates on immediate re-examination of urea subsidy management in agriculture while also considering the sustainability aspect in the long run. So we are using, we have imbalance use of NPK. So that's why we have to reconsider on urea subsidy. Okay. Economic Survey 2022-23 says every ₹1 spent on agricultural research and development gives 11.2 returns, while every one spent on fertilizer subsidy gives 0.88 returns. So they are comparing input to the output ratio. If you are spending ₹1 in case of agricultural research and development, if you do research and development, that will yield you more output, more than 100%. It is like 11.2%. Whereas if you can just give the subsidy, the output is very less comparatively. It will be 0.88 return for ₹1. So that's why we should spend more funds on research and development in case of agriculture according to Economic Survey 2023-24. 2020 to 23. Fertilizer consumption trends, if you see, historical data in lakh tons, urea increased from 197.6 to 357.80 lakh tons. So urea usage has been increased in consumption. DOP and MOP consumption shows fluctuations, while NPKs and SSP also varied. So, but these are not having so much of the growth and all, but there is a fluctuations. However, urea consumption has been increased. If you see the case study, integrated pest management, Maharashtra. Female pheromone trap against male pink bullworms. Okay. So it is like pheromone is a chemical used as a pesticide to manage the pest. Female pheromone traps against male pink bullworms. So to trap the bullworms, particularly male, so female pheromones were used as a pesticides. Where is it done? It is in Maharashtra. Integrated pest management, under integrated pest management. Next we have nitrous oxide emission reduction protocol, Canada. 4R nutrient stewardship plan. Right source, right rate, right time and right place. So this will reduce greenhouse gas emission by 25% and earn carbon credits. So Canada formed, or Canada is using 4R plan. What is that 4 R's? You should use a right source at right rate, in a right time, at right place. So right source, rate, time and place. If you are using, you will be able to reduce a greenhouse gas also by 25%, which has happened in case of Canada. So nitrous oxide emission reduction. So it is following nitrous oxide emission reduction protocol. Under that 4 R's are there: right source, right rate, right place and right time. Then we have waste to fertilizer in Nepal. If you see, waste is used as a fertilizer by converting waste to wealth in Nepal using an invasive shrub as a nutrient carrier by carbonizing it along with other crop residue. So that is where they're kind of converting this waste to a wealth as a fertilizer. Using low cost corn tikki style kilns, urine pits for livestock and human urine and combining it with a biochar. Using charred animal bones to add phosphorus, reduced input cost, improved yield and carbon sequestration is also happening. So Nepal is known for waste to fertilizer. Okay. Then if you can talk on sustainable agriculture, this will be talking on. Whenever you talk on sustainable agriculture, these 5 points has to be mentioned. One is resource conservation. We are just trustees, not the owners of any resource. So that is one. Resource conserving, accessible. It should be accessible. Commercially competitive. Environmentally sound. Socially supportive. So these 5 points: resources conserving, accessible, commercially competitive, environmentally sound, socially supportive. Once again I will repeat: resource conserving, accessible, commercially competitive, economically or environmentally sound, socially supportive. Should be the sustainable agriculture. So current design of fertilizer subsidy is based on the recommendation dose of nutrients. So recommended dose of nutrients calculated by each state. The Government of India calculates the recommended dose of fertilizer and allocates fertilizer to states for each season. The states in turn sell the fertilizer to the farmers through dealers and primary agricultural cooperatives. Using POS devices based on the quality of fertilizer sold to the farmer, the Department of Fertilizers pays fertilizer subsidy to the fertilizer company. Okay, so first center will decide recommended dose of nutrients and it will give it to state and state will give it to the sellers, and Department of Fertilizer pays a subsidy to fertilizer companies. This is the process we are using. Then we'll see what is the issue with fertilizer as an input. So one is economic related one, import dependence. We already read approximately 30% we are importing. India dependency on import at present is up to 25% of our requirement of urea. 90% in case of phosphate and 100% in case of potash. We know this NPK. So if you see, this is what is K, what is P? Phosphorus is P. That is 90% is imported. Potash 100% is imported. This is very important. We saw we are importing 30% approximately the fertilizer. Among them potash is 100% imported. 90% phosphate is imported. Misuse of subsidy. Subsidized urea is getting diverted to bulk buyers, traders or even non-agricultural users such as plywood and animal feed markets. It is being smuggled to neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Nepal. So this is the problem with the subsidy. Though we are giving subsidy, it is not going to the end users. Instead, it is being smuggled or it has been diverted by a bulk buyer, etc. Input cost for farmers. High input cost due to expensive fertilizer constrained farmers and reduce their profit margins. So there is an excessive cost also, that is where the farmers also not able to utilize it properly. Damage to fiscal health. Fertilizer subsidy or damaging the fiscal health, because we are giving higher subsidy for fertilizers, so it is again deteriorating fiscal health of an economy. So if you see external issues, fertilizer subsidies can lead to conflict with WTO regulation and negatively impact the balance of payment. If you see these 2 points we read in post harvesting, balance of payment and WTO. So those were the issues with the fertilizer subsidies. Okay. So next, if you see, diversion and black marketing is also happening. So design based issue. Economic Survey 2023-24 says POS devices at fertilizer outlets are not integrated with the land record data. So these devices are not integrated with land record. For land record we are going with digitalization. Along with we have to integrate POS devices at fertilizer outlets. Any person having an Aadhaar, whether a farmer or not, can buy any quantity of fertilizer. No limit on the sale of fertilizer to one person or one family. These factors lead to diversion and black marketing of a fertilizer. So smuggling will happen, black marketing will go on because we know anyone with Aadhaar card can purchase how much of a quantity they wanted. Illegal diversion for non-agricultural usage is one of the problem. Illegal diversion. Then usage, imbalanced use of fertilizers. So the ratio we are not following as the 4:3.2:1, but we are going through 7:2.8:1. So which is, see, potash we didn't change, it is 1 only. Whereas if you see nitrogen, urea based, it is 4:7 it got changed. Then 3.22 phosphate 3.22 2.8 it got changed. So increased in nitrogenous fertilizer content. That's like imbalance causing. Imbalance in price of a fertilizers. So there is a price imbalance also. Then we have nutrient imbalance. Under this urea and DAP contain more than 30% of any single nutrient. Urea has 46% nitrogen while DAP has 46 DAP as 46% of phosphate and also 18% of nitrogen. The resulting nutrient imbalance owing to their use disproportionate to others more expensive fertilizer could have implication for soil health, ultimately affecting a crop yield. So there is an imbalance, urea and DAP. Okay. Consumption, bioaccumulation. Excessive use of a fertilizer can lead to the buildup of a harmful chemical in a soil and water. What it does, in return, it will enter the food chain, affecting health of a human and the animals. Then we have read eutrophication problem, that is nutrient will be rich in the water because of running of water, and then algal bloom will be formed, then a dead zone will be developed, right? Then we have micronutrients, no focus on the micronutrients such as zinc, so which will also cause an issue, so such as zinc. Then we have MRP hierarchy causing disuse of certain fertilizers. So rupees 1,650 per bag. Muriate of potash is not cost effective for farmers to use directly or for companies to incorporate into fertilizer complexes. Why? Because high cost, high MRPs. So if you see, there are some initiative also to reduce all these negative problems. What are those? We have neem coated or neem coating of urea. All domestic urea producers are required by the Department of Fertilizer to produce 100% urea as neem coated urea, because normal urea is getting diverted for other purposes also, which are non-agriculture purpose. That's why we are going for neem coating urea. Then we have new urea policy 2015. This policy aims to achieve maximizing indigenous urea production, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant, yes, indigenous, promoting energy efficiency in urea units, rationalizing the subsidy burden on the government of India. So we have to rationalize the subsidy also. According to urea policy 2015, policy and promotion of a city compost. So the Department of Fertilizer, there is a department for fertilizer alone, right? Department of Fertilizer approved a policy in 2016. Post urea policy, we got policy and promotion of a city compost. So to promote city compost, it grants market development assistance of rupees 1,500 to scale up production and consumption of city compost. Compost manufacturers have been allowed to sell city compost in bulk directly to farmers to increase sale volumes. Fertilizer company marketing city compost are covered under the direct benefit transfer for fertilizer. So it is also under DBT, direct benefit transfer for fertilizers. So we are also aiming for city compost, promoting city compost. So first is urea, neem coated urea, urea policy 2015. Then we have a policy of promoting city compost. Then we have a use of space technology in fertilizer sector. So space technology also will be used. So the Department of Fertilizers commissioned a 3-year pilot study on resource mapping of a rock phosphate using reflectance spectroscopy and earth observations data. So earth observation data and reflectance spectroscopy in collaboration with the National Remote Sensing Center. We know, right? So this will be able to fetch out the resources and all. National Remote Sensing Center under ISRO, the Geological Survey of India and the Atomic Mineral Directorate. This study aims to utilize space technology to map and identify rock phosphate resources efficiently. So phosphate we are importing 90%. So we are collaborating with ISRO, where space observatory will be used, particularly Earth Observatory, remote sensing centers, and we also have Atomic Mineral Directorate and Geological Survey of India together to map and identify the rock phosphate resources. So space tech also is used. One nation, one fertilizer. Recently in trend. It is launched by Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers as Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Urvarak Pariyojana, One Nation, One Fertilizer Scheme. So why? What is it? Marketing fertilizer in the country under Bharat brand name for all subsidized soil nutrients like urea, diammonium phosphate, that is DAP, diammonium phosphate, muriate of potash, MOP, and NPK. Applicable to all fertilizer companies, state trading entities, and fertilizer marketing entities. So we have one nation, one fertilizer. So everything should be under the name Bharat brand. So it is for DAP also, MOP also. What is DAP? Diammonium phosphate. What is MOP? Muriate of a potash. But for everything, one nation, one fertilizer under Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Urvarak Pariyojana. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samruddhi. Kisan Samruddhi. So develop more than 3.25 lakh fertilizer shop across the country as Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samruddhi under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, we are going to have a many fertilizer shops, like 3.25 lakh fertilizer shops. So Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samruddhi Kendras. Okay. Then we have PM Pranam, Program for Restoration, Awareness, Nourishment and Amelioration of Mother Earth. So you can simply say PM Pranam. It is for restoration, awareness, nourishment, amelioration of Mother Earth. So objective is incentivize state to reduce the use of chemical fertilizer and switch to sustainable methods. Use of alternative fertilizers such as nano urea, nano diammonium phosphate and organic fertilizers. So incentives will be given for that. 50% of a fertilizer subsidy saved by a state or UT in a financial year compared to the average consumption of a previous 3 years will be granted back to the state. So that's the one. One more is, see, we already seen PMKSK, that is Kisan Samruddhi Kendras. We want 1.37 lakh Krishi Samruddhi Kendras. Then we have seen PM Pranam. Then we have soil health card. Objective is optimize the usage of nutrients for better soil health management. Okay. So then we have urea gold. Objective is address nutrient deficiency and promote or improve nutrient balance in the soil. So the benefit is enhance soil fertility and promote balanced use of a nutrient, leading to better crop yield and sustainable agricultural practices. This is for gold, urea gold scheme. Okay. So this is some way forward. Again, we can use the similar points, or there are some heading you can just have a look. Optimum nutrient application, reduction of a cost, input cost, diversification or diversion and black marketing has to be avoided. For that, what we can be done? Using agri-stock to enhance the targeting and efficiency of a fertilizer subsidies by leveraging agri-stock digital infrastructure. So that's the one, to avoid the black marketing. Payment system has to be maintained, agri-stock database. Then how to use scientific based approach should be used, like soil health card, and using PM Samruddhi Kendras to get the things done. So long-term soil health has to be promoted using PM Pranam. So it is, what is that? Awareness, nourishment of Mother Earth, right? Then we have consumption. We should consume city compost, zero budget natural farming, organic farming, etc. addressing MRP hierarchy by optimizing prices for DAP, MOP and complex fertilizers should be priced in between. So crop specific also we should determine. So with this we can have a way forward for optimum use of a fertilizers. Then the next component we'll see is e-technology to aid farmers. So how can we use electronic technology to use or to help farmers? So this is the next topic. We'll see some of the facts now. So agriculture tech penetration. NASSCOM estimates only 2% of Indian farmers use apps in the field. So according to NASSCOM, so it can see only 2%, not even 20% and all. It's just 2% of Indian farmers use apps in field. So second data is internet access in the rural areas. If you see the internet access, growth of internet access in rural areas is 13%. Smartphone usage is 67.6% in rural areas, 103% in urban areas. So urban areas it is good, but in rural areas still there is a gap. Approximately 67% it is done, and internet is 13%. So this is important data because there is a digital gap divide, right? So one thing is internet rate is 13% and internet access is 13%, whereas the smartphone usage is only 67.6%. Then we have white paper on making India a global leader in agro-tech innovation, Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog and United Nations Capital Development Fund. 1% agri-tech penetration in India. So it says only 1% agri-tech penetration is there. We already seen only 2% of them use app on the field. Then 40% farm mechanization as compared to US. So only 40% of farm mechanization, whereas in US it is 95%. And Brazil 75%, China 57%, but India is lagging in this also. Agri-tech penetration is less. So okay, Economic Survey 2023-24 says India supports over 1,000 agri-tech startups in agriculture and allied activities. As of February 9, 2024, 554 agri-startups, including 387 women-led startups, are actively working in the sectors. So now startups is also boosting up. So 300 plus, approximately 387 exactly women-led startups are there. So in India for agri field. So apart from that, we have some case studies to be noted. Mobile app to connect agri markets. We have mobile apps that is initiated in Punjab. Employees to mark attendance and employee for leaves helped improve attendance by 60%. So farmers can book stall online for Apni Mandi, weekly fruit and vegetable market. Daily weekly rates displayed here. So it is in Punjab. Mobile app to connect agri market. Then scientific sericulture increases Mizoram silk production. So sericulture, Mizoram silk production got increased. Provides ICT based internet information and communication system based, the technology based information and advisory services system for farmers. So it is scientific sericulture. If you go to government schemes, we have e-Krishi Samvad, offering an online platform that enables farmers and other stakeholders to directly connect with Indian Council of Agricultural Research. So this is the important one, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, to seek effective solution for their problems. So that is e-Krishi Samvad. So users can also upload photographs of crop disease, animals or fishes for instant diagnosis and remedial measures for from specialists. Okay. Then we have a farms app, farm machinery solution app. Help individual farmers rent agricultural machinery and equipment, and also facilitate sell and purchase of a old agricultural machines. So it's an important farm app. Okay, next we have Meghdut app provide location, crop and livestock specific weather based agro advisories to farmers in local language. Important here it is, we are using local language so that it is useful to everyone. So the app is Meghdut app. Next we have a centralized farm machinery performance testing portal, enhancing the quality of the services provided by the farm machinery testing institutions and promoting transparency in the entire process of testing and evaluating machines. That is where centralized farm machinery performance testing portal works. E-Rashtriya Kisan Agri Mandi. Again we have E-Rakam. That is E-Rashtriya Kisan Agri Mandi. Mandi is market again. A collaboration effort between MSTC, Mini Rashtra or Mini Ratna PSU under Ministry of Steel and the Central Rail Side Warehousing Company with the objective of establishing an auction platform to ensure that farmers receive fair prices for their produce and are not exploited by intermediaries. Then we have a digital agriculture machine 2021 to 2025. So this is for modernize agriculture through advanced technology like artificial intelligence, remote sensing, drones, etc. Okay. So then we have AgriStack. So in AgriStack, this is one of the important thing in digital foundation being set up by the government to streamline the integration of various stakeholders in agriculture sectors, thereby enhancing outcomes and results for farmers through data and digital service. Data and digital service will be provided in AgriStack. So this is about AgriStack. Then we have some other tech like recent technology interventions in PMFBY. So DigiClaim payment module. So it's an integrated or it integrates NCIP and PFMS, providing visibility of eligible claims paid by insurance companies and claims transferred to beneficiary farmers. So yield estimated based on the technology also, that is S-Tech, yield estimation based on technology and the recent technology intervention in PMFBY. Okay, weather information network and data systems, also collection of real-time observation and photographs of crop. Then if you see more on e-technology, so e-technology stands for electronic technology. E-technology in broad terms encompasses the internet and other interconnected information technologies. So we have already seen some of the benefits. You can also see once again. So it bridges a gap between the farmers and the market, establish the efficiency, effectiveness and competitiveness, enhance the production efficiency, services, diversify access to market, community outreach and interconnectedness, better planning and decision making. These are some more benefits we are going to get from e-technology. This is a small gist of e-technology in agriculture. In upcoming sessions, we will discuss more on different inputs and other factors of agriculture.